Good afternoon and welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We've been coming to you live from the Singapore FinTech Festival. Joining me for this segment we have Alex Feenie. He's the Managing Director of Liqease, and we are going to focus on using blockchain for trade finance. Alex, thank you so much for joining us at the FinTech Festival. Now tell us a little bit more about Liqease.
Sure. Thank you very much for having me on today, Jill, and for squeezing me in.
Of course.
So Liqease is a Hong Kong-based trade finance platform. We are a decentralized marketplace for invoice sellers, so account receivables holders that are looking to receive liquidity from investors that are willing to buy their assets on our platform.
Right. Now, is this for either smaller businesses or businesses that wouldn't get traditional financing?
Absolutely. So in the spirit of financial inclusion, which we're seeing this week here at Singapore FinTech Festival, there is still a very large gap in the account receivables market. So we estimate out of a global space of $43 trillion in account receivables, only about $7 trillion of that market is actually being serviced by the global banks. So it leaves a very large delta for us to explore. In fact, there's actually about $1.5 trillion credit gap every single day of small and medium-sized enterprises that have no access to trade finance.
Right. So, and why do you think that is? Is it just because the infrastructure isn't being built, or it never has been built and it's just easier to leapfrog using this technology now versus trying to implement traditional financing?
I think for traditional banks, it's just not been a particularly interesting space.
Right.
There hasn't been an awful lot of liquidity, and that's why we see the opportunity to create a digital debt asset out of these account receivables, which could then be traded on an exchange in what we call our secondary market, and that would provide a lot of liquidity for fixed income investment funds, for example.
And then using the blockchain technology as well, it kind of takes out all those other layers and middle people, if you will.
Absolutely, that's the efficiency that it provides. So, for example, in this, the smart contract approach, you can take out the need for a custodian. There's a lot of the paperwork that's removed. You have the transparency and immutability aspect of blockchain, which also adds to the security element as well.
All right, Alex, thank you so much for sharing the story about Liqease, and thank you for joining me throughout the day from the Singapore FinTech Festival. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.